end quote. It suggests a complete reevaluation of everything they believe about our origins and our future. Alex, how does Morning Sky propose we begin to understand such a radical premise?
Morning Sky's narrative begins with the very creation of the universe itself, in the swirling primordial waters of what he calls Eridanus. He describes the birth of stars and worlds from condensed gases and dust, leading to the formation of oceans and eventually a single spark of life. This single cell evolves into multicelled creatures, then complex beings, and ultimately humanoids of every kind across the galaxy: fish humanoids, bird humanoids, reptile humanoids, and mammal humanoids. He portrays a natural progression where early Eridanus man conquers his world, develops technology, and then looks to the stars, meeting his galactic relatives.
So this isn't just about Earth, it's a cosmic saga. But this peaceful meeting of galactic relatives doesn't last, does it? The text quickly shifts to a universe consumed by conflict. He mentions that the Aryan, the original Eridanus man, were eventually overwhelmed and scattered across the galaxy.
That's right. Morning Sky asserts that this primitive Eridanus man became civilized, transforming primitive war into the science of war. This led to a continuous series of galactic conflicts where empires rose and fell, though one endured for a considerable time. This enduring power was the SSS Empire, so named for the hissing sound their beings made. They rose as supreme masters of war in the 9th sector of the galaxy.
And the SSS Empire wasn't just militarily strong, it developed a sophisticated and brutal approach to control, specifically through its queens.
Precisely. Under the SSST queens, the empire reached its pinnacle. These queens were known for their ruthless command and efficiency and cruelty, but also as brilliant politicians and war strategists. Their military, known as the MK or MG warriors, were described as tall, imposing figures with frightening, dragon-like faces, cold-blooded warriors whose appearance alone instilled fear. A key to their power was the SST science of choice, which was mind control. They learned that an enemy served no purpose if executed, but if the brain was reprogrammed, resistance was eliminated, and an able body was added to the labor force.
Mind control as a science of governance is a chilling concept. So the SSST are these reptilian, mind-controlling warriors. Where do other major galactic powers like the ASSR fit into this? And didn't the SSST actually originate from the Aryan civilization before they were overtaken?
Yes, the SSST Empire was originally the remnant of the Aryan civilization, which they conquered and absorbed before rising as the supreme masters of war. The Aesurar kings were another formidable power, whose evolution was also driven by the ways of war. They possessed advanced weaponry, like starship pilots called Iku, with light beams that could melt or disintegrate targets, and ground forces called Beth, with sound-emitting weapons. Their science of war was called AT, and it spawned the R or AR, a planet-sized warship capable of immense destruction. The SSST Queens, realizing the destructive power of the Aesurar, shrewdly sought an alliance rather than direct war. They offered the Aesurar kings control of the outer stars of the 9th sector in exchange for loyalty to the SSST High Throne. This alliance catapulted Aesurar into a superpower status, with their stars becoming known as SSST.RRRSSST, or SRSS, which Morning Sky links to Sirius.
So we have these two vast, powerful empires, the Aryan, formerly SSST, and the SSRS, formerly ASAR, engaged in a kind of Cold War or uneasy alliance. The text then introduces the reign of King Anan of Asar, which sounds like it was fraught with internal treachery.
Indeed. The era of Elder King Anan of Aesurar was marked by treachery, lies, and deceit.
Robert Morning
His
Sky
own brother,
was a
Al-Shar,
Native
serving
American
as royal
identity
cupbearer, seized an opportunity during a major galactic war. While King Anan was away commanding combined forces, Al-Shar staged a successful coup, captured control of the central Aesurar forces, and dispatched assassins to kill his brother. Though historical records might say Anan died in battle, those in the court knew the truth. Al-Shar became King Al-Al, and Anan's son, Prince Anu, was stripped of his claim
Here,
and made a
as a
hostage
clean,
and servant, vowing
post-ready
revenge.
Facebook blurb.
This detailed galactic political drama, with its coups and assassinations, seems to mirror a very specific Earth-based conspiracy theory in the Terra papers. Morning Sky directly connects this deep history to the assassination of John F. Kennedy.
He does. Morning Sky claims that Joseph P. Kennedy made a deal with CIA mafia powers. If they helped elect his eldest son to the presidency, the son would obey his father's dictates, effectively placing the U.S. presidency under the control of this shadow government. After the eldest son died in a mysterious accident, Joseph assured them John Fitzgerald Kennedy would abide by the scenario. JFK, initially unaware of the full scope, and his brother Bobby, upon realizing the black ops and drug trafficking links to the CIA mafia, felt betrayed. They began to pursue their own course, with John promising to disband the CIA and end the drug trade, and Bobby going after the mafia. This, Morning Sky states, threatened the most powerful organizations in the world, leading to their assassinations in 1963 and 1968, respectively, because the agreement was broken.
The book uses these vast etymological lists of ancient Egyptian, Sumerian, Latin, and English words, connecting AR with concepts like destruction, ascending, and superiority, and DTK with destruction, slaying, and invading. How does Morning Sky intend for these extensive linguistic connections to strengthen his narrative about these ancient empires and their influence?
Morning Sky presents these etymological lists to suggest a deep, ancient linguistic continuity that ties into the very fabric of these galactic empires. By showing words like AR in ancient Egyptian meaning death, destruction, or superior, and in Latin meaning alter or destroy, he implies that the destructive and conquering nature of the AR warship and the ASSARRR empire is embedded in human language across diverse cultures. Similarly, the DTK words, linking to concepts of destroying, slaying, and aiding, he uses to underpin the DAC force's devastating power and the mind control tactics of the SSSSTRIN, whose name, ARIN, he connects to Master or Terrible One and Adolf Hitler's super race concept.
This is a profound reinterpretation, challenging conventional history, science, and even the origins of human language. This information, Morning Sky explains, didn't come from academic research, but from a direct encounter with a star elder named Bakhti. What was Bakhti's core message, and how was Morning Sky's effort to share it initially received?
Robert Morning Sky, whose grandfather was one of 6 young Indian rescuers of the Star Elder, or Bakhti, was told this history. Bakhti's message was that star beings have been on Earth since it was a barren rock, throughout humanity's creation and evolution. Their involvement, he said, was sometimes benevolent, sometimes not. They have been our gods and our devils, always present. When Morning Sky, in the late 60s, submitted a paper summarizing this history, titled Terra, A Hidden History of Planet Earth, to his university's religious studies program, it was labeled an outrageous, if not blasphemous, distortion of historical records. He was nearly thrown out of school. Later, UFO organizations also rejected his story, advising him that UFOs were a phenomena of technology and not the works of the mythical beings of primitive peoples.
So even in circles dedicated to the unconventional, his story was too much. The Terra papers don't just reinterpret the past, they also make predictions about the future, tying these ancient galactic wars to upcoming events on Earth.
Yes, Morning Sky claims that upcoming events can be predicted not through psychic abilities, but from patterns of an ongoing effort to direct planet Earth. He predicts that humanity will soon be surrounded by images of asteroids and fiery comets, black pigs and angel figures everywhere. Dinosaurs will become children's heroes, and violence will be the foundation of their play. New airborne diseases, immune to existing treatments, will surface, and NASA will be rendered weak and impotent. He concludes that a galactic war of conquest rages over our heads, and Earth and man is the prize. It's a stark vision of humanity as pawns in a cosmic game, our destiny shaped by these ancient, hidden forces.
The Terra papers by Robert Morning Sky truly offer a sweeping, if unsettling, narrative that demands we question every assumption about our world and our place in the universe. If you found this episode thought-provoking, consider sharing it with someone curious about alternative